as Diddy's sentencing is next month. Diddy's lawyers have submitted a sentencing memo, and in this memo, they're suggesting that Diddy is sentenced for 14 months. Now, let's go through this sentencing memo in more detail, and as we go through it, you'll see that his lawyers are pointing to a variety of reasons why they feel that this is a sufficient term for his sentence. Diddy's lawyers say the prosecutors, for their part, have lost all perspective. They advocate for numerous enhancements. Even probation didn't find warranted and seek to sentence Mr. Combs under a different enhancement for a crime he was never charged with, which would result in guidelines range above the statutory minimum of 20 years. They say this is widely out of proportion to the conduct at issue, threesomes where fully competent adult men and women voluntarily crossed state lines and had consensual intimate relations with each other, and the defendant made no money from the conduct. And then they talk about Diddy's background. So they talk about his father was unalived on the streets of Manhattan when he was just 3 years old. And as a result, Mr. Combs pursued a life of hard work, love, family, and faith. He went to Howard University, and everything that he achieved since attending the university and then entered the world of entertainment in New York City and all the businesses that we are aware of. They continue, he dedicated substantial energy, resources, and passion to charitable work, personal sacrifices, and then talk about obstacles that he had to overcome, such as losing many loved ones, including his father, his best friend, Notorious B.I.G., and the love of his life and mother of four of his children, Kim Porter, and most recently his mentor, Andre Harrell. They go into more detail regarding his father's passing and said that three bullets were fired into the right side of his head, unaliving him instantly. Homicide detective Edward Kelly reported that the bullets were likely fired by someone sitting in the front passenger seat and the shooting was a hit due to substance dealing. The violent unaliving of Mr. Combs' father traumatized the family forever, they continue. Due to the circumstances surrounding the unaliving, the family told young Mr. Combs only that his father was unalived in his car in a traffic accident. As Mr. Combs grew, the older kids and some of the men in Harlem said things about his father that led him to wonder whether the story told by his family was true. People in the street would gratuitously speak to Mr. Combs about his father in a way that suggested his father's death was not an accident. And then they talk about the relationship with his mother and says that Miss Combs raised him as a single mother while she was also caring for her elderly ailing mother. She worked three jobs to provide him with a good education. She drove a school bus during morning and afternoon hours on the weekdays, worked at the United Cerebral Palsy Home in the evenings caring for patients, and worked on weekends as a salesperson in a clothing store. Her brother passed away of a substance overdose, and he left behind his 5-year-old daughter, Keisha, who became an orphan. Miss Combs adopted Keisha to prevent her from going into foster care. And all of these points his lawyers are arguing is to show that his sentencing should be for 14 months, which, in their opinion, is sufficient based on these personal factors. They next focus on his dedication to his family and say that despite being raised without a father, Mr. Combs has been a dedicated and present father for his 7 children. He has also been a dedicated son to Janice Combs, living just down the road from her in Miami, and a dedicated uncle, nephew, and cousin. Even though he was a CEO of several businesses, his dedication to his family is paramount. It also says he has instilled a commitment to faith and religion in his children as well. It says that Mr. Combs has served as a constant example of black fatherhood done right, involved, nurturing, and proud. Whether supporting his daughters in their modeling careers or guiding his sons through business and music ventures, Sean is not just present, he's intentional. His lawyers also focus on how he established himself growing up in his business. He distinguished himself at Uptown Records by his hard, tireless work. They state after approximately 2 years, Harrell gave him a paid job while filling in for someone who left the position. He had a vision for a new type of business, one headed by a young black executive that emphasized black excellence and achievement. It would reflect a certain style, sound, and sensibility that was modern, hip, and urban. They also state that he created opportunities for women and interns at Bad Boy. He created a family for his business colleagues and friends. And they also say that he had a long history of being treated by doctors for a variety of mental health conditions. So, in short, his lawyers are saying that he's a 55-year-old man with no prior criminal history. He's already seen how being arrested and convicted can destroy his reputation. He has 7 children, an elderly mother who rely on him for support and care. And because of his contributions to society and the community, they submit that a 14-month sentence with supervised release mandating substance treatment therapy and group therapy would be sufficient. Let me know what you think in the comments below.